Thank you very much.
Yeah, Chair. No. My apology for interrupting Honorable Kohler-Barnard, but I think you certainly owe us a clarification of the question that I'm going to pose, because on previous occasions when we're discussing the issue of the participation of Honorable Kohler-Barnard, the DA brought to the committee a legal opinion, and I thought that we were all of the same mind that let's rather have that matter also subjected to the Parliamentary Legal Division, so that we get a legal opinion coming from Parliament as opposed to a political party. Now, I'm not aware whether we've received that, and my concern will be we should not take a decision and not follow up on its implementation. If I have missed that legal advice of Parliament on the matter, I would be quite comfortable that we proceed. But if it has not been provided, I think that it would be inappropriate for us to take decisions and proceed without having finalized those decisions to the extent that they should. So that's the clarity I need from you, Chair.
Honorable Skosana.
Ngiyakuthokoza mgcini isihlalo. Ngicabanga ukuthi kwakhulunywa njalo ukuthi indaba le iza kuhlathululwa kuhle yaka honorable. Ngingazike ukuthi mhlambe ke sekutshentshile ngoba kwakhulunywa njalo khona Chair ukuthi indaba le iza kubuyelelwa. Ngamanye amagama ngithi ukuthi ngivuma no chief whip we largest party ukuthi ngicabanga ukuthi sakhuluma njalo Chair. Ngiyakuthokoza.
No, honorable members would remember that a legal opinion was presented in that meeting. And the decision of the meeting was that we will live with what we have until there is any other view to the contrary of what was presented to us. And we even said that if members wish to make further submissions, they can make those submissions, and then the legal team of Parliament will come and give us a feedback on the considerations they would have made to those submissions. And so far, we have not got any feedback contrary to what has been presented. And I will want us to proceed. If there is the day we have a meeting, we can get a report from the legal team of Parliament. But so far, there has not been any official report on the feedback that has been presented before the committee. And I'm going to persuade you, Chief Whip, that for now we live with what we have. Honorable Sangol.
Chief Whip, and again, please, we're not disrespecting the chair. It's on the legal opinion itself. And if we are incorrect, we can just be corrected. Our understanding was that the legal opinion that had been presented to us dealt with the matters that were referring to the apprehension of bias as it related to Honorable Shikeling and Honorable Skosan. And it was that legal opinion that we agreed that we will live with what we have, as you're currently saying, which is why Honorable Skosana has been participating. on the issue of Honorable Diane Kohler-Barnard, we received a legal opinion from the DA. And I remember that the meeting rejected the legal opinion from the DA, saying that we cannot ask the DA to bring us a legal opinion in Parliament, if needs be, can then bring that particular legal opinion. So our previous position as it related to Honorable Kohler-Barnard was not changed by any legal opinion from Parliament because we had not received such. Thank you, Chair.
You are very right, Honourable Member, that in that meeting, the legal opinion from the DA was not part of the official documents from Parliament. It was a document that was circulated for members to interact with. We agreed very well that the only document relevant in that meeting was the legal opinion that the legal team of Parliament presented. And that legal opinion dealt with 3 matters. It was the matter of members who would have opened cases against witnesses. And then it was also a matter of members against whom there will be reasonable perception of bias, and whether such, and the third was that whether such members could participate in the proceedings and even go to an extent of asking questions. Those were the 3 matters that we referred to the legal team. And then in the responses that the legal team gave, or the report or the opinion that the legal team gave, it dealt with all those matters. And the decision that the committee has taken was that, maybe even without going to individual names of members, to say the opinion that we have now says we can go ahead and allow members to participate. If I'm not misrepresenting you, Andile. And so the understanding is that not until the committee has received anything to the contrary of what was presented, the committee will continue to live with that opinion. Honorable Nomval.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's so unfortunate that this matter is coming in this fashion, because it tampers with the proceedings. We thought we were dealing with the interviews, I mean, with questioning witnesses, but it arises, and I'm not blaming the person who has raised the point, but I'm saying it's so unfortunate. And our understanding, Chair, was that this is an urgent matter which required to be resolved before we start today, I mean this week's program. That is why we were making calls to you on Monday, inquiring about whether there will be a meeting or not, because I think this is a housekeeping issue that we must deal with when we're dealing with our housekeeping issues. So, but what precipitated and what exacerbates the problem is that we failed to convene a meeting on an urgent basis and deal with this matter. So my suggestion, Chair, is that we convene an urgent meeting just to clear all the outstanding issues, because they are going to temper and they will follow us for as long as we fail to resolve them on time. So I'm just making a plea to you, a kind plea, that as soon as possible, let's convene a meeting and deal with all the outstanding issues which have an impact on how we run our processes. Thank you.
Yeah, look, honorable members, I don't hear any one of you saying that the legal opinion that Parliament presented is not what the chairperson is saying. Chief Whip.
No, Chair, we have the legal opinion with us that Parliament presented. And I think it's important to bring to your attention the distinction between the 2 matters that we have had to deal with. when you look at the matter relating to Skosana, Honorable Skosana and Honorable Shikaring, we are dealing with matters that are totally different from what we referred to when we're talking about Honorable Barnard in this way. We even as a committee, I would imagine, were gravitating towards taking a decision, given the seriousness of the alleged involvement of Honorable Kohler-Barnard, that she may be one of our witnesses. We have never contemplated that with Skosana or Shikaring. And the reason why the DA decided to give an opinion on her alone, excluding Shikaring, was on its own a recognition of the fact that the two cases are totally not the same. And the way we interpreted the legal opinion provided to us was that it was not dealing with matters where you have a possibility of one of us becoming a witness. It was dealing with the principle, firstly, of our own authority as a committee to remove anyone in an event where we believe that they should not be part of our membership. But it did not deal with the issues relating to, can one of us who might be a witness tomorrow, likely, very likely to be a witness, given the seriousness of the allegations leveled against her, be also part of those who are questioning witnesses before us? If your understanding was that, Chair, and the understanding of the Parliamentary Legal Service was that, that would be a different understanding from what we have. And I think that is where I was saying, we don't disagree with how we are presenting the legal opinion, your understanding of it, but we are saying it did not address the issues relating to the nature of the allegations leveled against Honorable Kohler-Barnard. We can read it. I'm sure the legal team can read it here, and they tell us whether they were advising on the basis of similar circumstances or these are not exactly the same. Our views are they are not the same. But maybe, Chair, so that we don't appear to be stalling the process, we would want to suggest that even with that concern that we're raising, you proceed and allow Honorable Barnard to participate and advise us tomorrow through the legal division of Parliament what are the implications of that when we later decide that she must be a witness. Because we also don't want to appear as if we are personal to any of our colleagues. But we are very convinced that where matters of principle arise, we must be steadfastly loyal to them unless circumstances change that convince all of us. Thanks.
Note hands of members who want to speak on this matter. Okay, I'm seeing only one hand of Honorable Malim.
No, thanks, Chair. I'm happy that the Chief Whip says we must proceed, because if participation is going to be limited to when you open your mouth, then it's a redefinition of participation. Before the witness took an oath, Honorable Kohler-Barnard was already sitting this side of ours. That is participation. And the objection should have been raised at that time, that she cannot be here because she's going to be expected to be on the other side. That's number one. Number two, in the absence of any authority, in this case, a legal opinion that disqualifies her or qualifies her, we are where we were when she was participating in our meetings. So once you say there is no opinion that comes that speaks about her, and there's no opinion that speaks against her, we are back to where we were. We have no right to remove any member until that kind of opinion comes and advises differently, without going into agreeing with you that that opinion of the Parliament was actually the opinion as described by you. It's exactly what it says. And I don't see them coming up with any other thing except what they told us in that meeting. But for the sake of progress, I will say let's proceed with what the Chief Whip has said. Thanks.
Okay, honorable members, let's do this. The the moment or the day the committee would have agreed that Honorable Kohler-Barnard should be a witness. Remember, we have not reached that decision. We said it's one matter that we will come and discuss. Once we reach the decision, or let me say, if we happen to reach that decision that she must be a witness, then the legal team will then advise us. What do we do with our member who is now having to be on the witness stand? For now, we haven't taken any decision about her being a witness. And I think we are going to proceed that way. Honorable Skosana.
No, thank you, Chair. I guess for the issue of time as well, that we have members who are coming to support us here, sitting with us on this side. But because we don't have an issue of voting for instance, if you have to vote, obviously, even if you are sitting this side, you can't vote because we've got rules in terms of that. Even if you are an alternate, only 11 members can vote. I think I'm correct on that. But for the sake of progress as well, because otherwise you're going to now start another process, like what happened to me when when General Sibia wanted to consult his legal team. I don't think now we have to consult, and I must accept that we've dropped the ball on that. We're supposed to have discussed this matter before we came in here, but for the sake of progress, we can really allow her to participate, and hopefully there won't be a backlash on that. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah. Look, honorable members, this matter is not appearing before the committee for the first time. We have discussed it in many occasions. And I can tell you, even as we sit here now, we have run wild on how we think we can resolve it. And all of us agree that in the rules that we have, we don't have any authority. And that is why I will agree with those honorable members who say, let's wait to hear what the decision of the committee is. Once her name as a possible witness has been considered. And then we will seek a legal opinion on that matter. For now, as it stands, there is nothing that empowers us or stops her from participating in the committee proceedings. Honorable Shonga.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know whether, Chair, I hear you correctly. But, Chair, I think illegal advice were once given by the legal department. And we never acted on that. And the room check was of the mind, Yoguti. We mostly agree that she must do the right thing. But where I differ with you, Chair, you are now changing the statement when you say we must wait for the committee to decide on people who must be witnesses. This was never about being a witness. This was more about implication. That's why it was clarified between the matter of Honorable Skosana and Honorable Kohler-Barnard. So I think, Chair, let's not change the subject. But due to time, Chair, I think you as the chairperson, I always say this to you, it cannot be that the only decision you take as a chairperson is only about time for all alternates. You should take this decision for us and help us, Uguti. You must make this decision. And constantly, Chair, you are delaying this matter. Because we should have had meetings already about this matter. We are going forward. Yes, we are busy. We've got a lot to deal with. But, Chair, I think it falls on your shoulders, Chair. It falls on the credibility of your leadership in this committee. So I think, Chair, decision can be made, but you are also delaying the matter. And you know what's the right thing to do. DA does know the right thing to do, but you cannot depend on them, because when it suits them, it's correct. When it doesn't suit them, it's incorrect. So I think Chair, make a decision for us and take this matter as fast as you can. If we have to continue like this, let's then continue like this. But if it's a matter of us taking a decision, it has to be taken very, very urgently, Chair. Thank you.
I do not agree with that assertion, unless if there is anyone amongst you who wants to tell me what the decision of the committee is on this matter. And I have reiterated this, that the chairperson of this ad hoc committee is not the committee. This committee is made up of members. When the chairperson speaks, the chairperson must speak the decision of the committee. Is there anyone amongst you who wants to remind me how the committee has decided, so that I can stand up here and say the decision of the committee is this one: Honorable Kohler-Barnard stay, or Honorable Kohler-Barnard go out? What is the committee decision?
No, Chair, if I may, Chair, just to correct you, that I don't get to be taken wrong on that matter. I'm not saying, Chair, the committee made a decision. You said we'll come and decide on this matter. But the feel of the House was mostly taking her out. So I'm saying, Chair, you have been delaying this matter. We should have dealt with this matter a long time ago. There was a Monday that we were supposed to have a meeting. I don't know whether it was cancelled or what. It never happened.
Order, Chair.
So I think, Chair...
Please, Chair. Chair, we go around and around talking about the same thing, and then we have MKP, everybody, all of them are saying the same thing. It is the point of order. We're not having order in the House.
Honorable
and Chair, we've already agreed that we're proceeding, and now we're talking about administration issues.
Honorable Mathai,
please, Chair, protect us.
Just hold your horses. This is how we're going to deal with issues. Honorable members, each and every member of this committee has a right to speak. But when you have spoken in the committee, it does not mean that what you say goes. All of us are bound by the decisions that the committee would have taken. So the committee has not been represented here. There is no decision that the committee has taken on that matter, and that is why I say I stand to be reminded by any one of you who knows any decision that the committee has arrived at on that matter, so that when I stand up here, I don't speak my personal things. I speak the decisions of the committee. Are you done, Honorable Shongwe?
I can continue, Chair, because my Honorable Mathai says I should continue, Chair. So I'll take it from there, Chair. So, Chair, I was saying I'm done.
Thank you. Honorable Malim.
Chair, everybody agrees we must proceed, including the person who sponsored this issue. He said we must proceed. We have a candidate, not a candidate, we were a witness before us. Yeah. And we can't be doing this when everybody says, yes, we've got consents, but let's proceed.
Yeah.
Can we please proceed? We are asking for that. Everybody agrees on that.
Yeah, no. What I wanted to hear is whether you have a decision as a committee. Okay. So the statements that have been made against the chair here do not belong here. Yeah. Can we endorse? Let me apologize for this moment that we had, and we now have to proceed. Honorable Kohler-Barnard.
Thank you very much, Chair. To the former minister, you and I go way back. Would you agree that we have had some of the most bizarre national police commissioners? If one looks at Cele, the president of Interpol, and he ends up in jail, I think the reputational damage that did to the SAPS was inordinate. I don't know that we've ever recovered our reputation internationally, but How you did it, I don't know. I've never yet worked it out. But you pulled a rabbit out the hat and convinced them to hold the FIFA World Cup here against all the odds and against what Cele had done to the country. And it was an extraordinary achievement. I mean, I was there, you were there, you know, for once we could walk the streets and not feel as though we were going to be attacked. But then I know Lieutenant General Mkonazi was bounced in as a relative junior over the heads of many more senior and experienced members. And it was quite a surprise to everybody. But he wasn't left there very long before, heaven help us, it was handed over to Ria Pierre. And I agree with you. I think she did more damage to the SAPS than anyone before or since. It was catastrophic what happened from the moment she was seen wearing all the medals she hadn't earned, a whole barrage of medals, to the Marikana massacre. It just was catastrophic from day one. And then finally they started choosing, and I mean, you amongst that lot were the only one who had actually had any security experience at all. We were talking social workers and teachers prior to that. But they then decided, let's go with police officers. We got Cele, Masimola, who were both qualified to do the job. So I've often tried to work out what was driving the politicians at the top to put people in who were not qualified to do the job. What's your opinion on that?
Well, maybe starting from the beginning, is in English, they say another man's meat is another man's poison. Mm. So if Jake is your poison, he's a meat for me. I don't share the opinion that Jake was the most disastrous. I don't share. Whatever happened to him trapped him. Guys like your Sullivan, like your Aglioti and all those, they know better what happened. I don't say he was innocent, but we know that people that really did the damage and the stuff like Aglioti, the system let them go and they find their sacrificial land, they find their scapegoat. And I agree, he could have got involved with them. That is a tail end of things that happened to him. But it did a lot of job pulling together all pieces of the so-called policing of Venda. I don't know why I like this Venda. Of Venda, Ciskei, Transkei, KwaZulu, and all that. It pulled to produce something called South African Police Service, which is a day. By the way, somebody did ask, what is my recommendation? I was reminded yesterday that, Honorable Chair, during our era, that day was celebrated of 27th January. I would urge that that day comes. The police would come to the stadium, dance, drink, and everything. And Kohler-Barnard was one person who dismissed that day. So we can talk about it because I find it bizarre that all police officers are working on December. All of them are working. So you can't give a little bit of a holiday when you have come back looking after and all that. We can argue on that one. But it's not true again that all professional police make good commissioners. It's not. It's not. One person that was highly professional, he acted for some time, Patlani. He acted for some time. What happened? He's a professional police. The Stolle is a police produced by Honorable Skosana, and he's one to stand there. He did not finish the term. So it doesn't follow why politicians want these people that can do the job. They do bring the people that they believe they can do the job, and those people they still do. I think somehow we still have to retreat and find out the way how people can finish, be supported, be helped, because what worse it does, it hurts the organization and it breaks down the organization as we see now, because nobody stays there to understand and take the organization through. But there is an issue, honorable member, about national commissioners rather than the national commissioners that were never police. Even those that were police, there are serious problems about.
You're absolutely right. I'd quite forgotten about Pakhlane, who I think is heading towards jail. He's been arrested, he and his crew, for looting at the crime lab. So you're right, absolutely right. I've just often wondered, when people have been put in who are particularly weak, whether it was deliberate or not, in order to allow certain things to slide within the system. Certainly under Ria Piecha, that seemed to be the case. So I think, I know you've touched on it today, but were you surprised? I thought you and Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi had a good relationship. Were you surprised when this allegation that he's now withdrawn sort of came out the left field at you?
Surprised when it was made, or surprised
when it was made?
Surprised.
When it was made.
I was surprised. I was surprised because I knew that the thing doesn't come close to anything that has happened. For instance, as I've said, that one bottom line on this one is that I've never sent anybody, and you see something that you are so sure of it, and himself could have checked back. If he says I've sent the message to somebody, he could have checked back. But this person have never sent message from me since we knew each other in 2009. We have not. How would on a short space of time begin to do those things and all that? It should, but this is a point I take, that human beings are fallible. Sure. And I'll live with that. That sometimes human beings are fallible, honorable member, and I'll accept that. Yeah,
you've held both positions, and I think you're probably the only person who has been both the National Police Commissioner and the Minister. I know I was hard on you and on Ria Piecha and Pakhlane, all of them. But as a minister then, were you surprised, and have you been surprised at some of the ministerial appointments that have been made with Nathi Mthethwa, and we're talking somehow Richard Mluli being brought back by him time and again, and Marikana and Nkandla Gate, Nathi Nhleko with his fire pool nonsense. He didn't last very long. Fikile Mbalula only lasted 1 year. So where would you rate yourself in amongst that lot as your job as a minister that you achieved?
That's the most difficult question. If I were a soccer player and I'm a striker, I would rate myself by scoring the goals. It would be easy. The first minister was Professor Mufumadi. The second one was Chwete. Third one was Magula. The fourth one was Mthethwa. And then after Mthethwa was Nhleko, was Mbalula, was who is not there? Then was Cele. Not Cele. Chairperson, I don't know if I can really answer this question. I've read myself as a minister. I think the most time I enjoy here was when I was a national commissioner. Whoever I send there, if we get an opportunity and president say choose between being a commissioner or choose to be a commissioner, that is a roller coaster kind of the work, and you can easily measure crime stats, the response of the human beings and all that. I will request to jump chair on rating myself and allow South Africans and the rest of the people to judge me on that.
I'm sure they will. You have agreed that today the SAPS, there's a lot of factions fighting crime intelligence, all of them are in a catastrophic situation, compared perhaps to how it was when you were the National Police Commissioner. In your opinion, what could be done to pull it all together, to show our citizens that they need not fear the police, but that criminals must fear the police? Because today, currently, our citizens fear the police and the criminals laugh at them. How would you tackle that? How would you turn the tables and turn this back into a police service that we could actually be proud of?
Shepard, I remember you used the term catastrophic. I think in Zulu, it's something very, very serious. Not only that, and sad. I don't know how much pain I share as I sit there and I look Commissioner writing affidavit against the Deputy National Commissioner and all that Mkwanas coming on the platform, lambasting everybody. Immediately after that, Spear coming, Spear going home, the police are in his house. It's just, if I don't think if it were a move, I would finish it. Is a terrible thing. And I would be lying if I sit here and I say what should be done to fix the situation. I know it's a disastrous situation. It needs to be fixed together and all that. You know, I watched few days ago the discussion on how much South Africans have been scammed by the scammers, very professional scammers out there. But you say, okay, where do you go with these South Africans? There is no head of Hawks, there is no head of intelligence, there is no deputy National Commission of Detective, and these are the things that these people who are scammed is a place that they should be running to. It doesn't exist. I hope and I wish that the president literally leads his government and the cabinet on finding the solution quick on this matter. Is a matter for government now. I hear that Judge Meyer was talking about requesting Judge Letwaba to go and stay home because of 2.5 million accusation of bribe from Mlife. This is a judge now. I'm not talking about magistrate or prosecutor. Your chief of prosecution in Gauteng is home, is to be investigated. Aibo. So I think somebody somewhere must find a solution, and that solution must be quick. Otherwise, South Africans are going to run helter-skelter.
I agree. Last question from me. Let's talk about Cato Manor for a moment. You know them all very well. The still surviving members, because some have died, of the Cato Manor crew. Well, we heard in the Zondo Commission that there was a meeting between the then minister and the then acting National Police Commissioner, and they took the decision to make the arrest as public and humiliating as they could, because they believed the Sunday Times story. Of course, history has shown that those people who lost their salaries, their jobs, their lives, and were branded with the M for murderers on their foreheads, basically, were all innocent. They were cleared by the courts. And I was saddened when the Lieutenant General told us he didn't really recall much about it, because it was his decision to go ahead and join in that political decision to close the unit and arrest everyone. And in fact, the courts have just started paying them out because they're all suing the SAPs for many, many millions. I believe you might have handled it differently had you been in charge. Your thoughts, please.
Jefferson, I said yesterday, Lieutenant General Connors is a good cop, but he has faults. And I said some of his faults are serious. That is one of the serious faults that he committed. I don't care who says what. I'll go anywhere. That's my belief and what I see. I see, that's the way I see that what happens. But one thing that is not said, when General Connors was here, he raised the issue of him having problem with former Minister Mthethwa, may his soul rest in peace, and President Zuma. He did not tell that initially there were parties with Minister Mthethwa, they caused this disaster together. Yep. They caused the disaster. So there was a time when they were together and they caused the disaster. I don't know when they realized that one is wrong. This Katomena thing was a part of the Hawks. And the structures that deal with the misbehavior of the police and all that they could do. But weighing, putting on the scale, their successes and what they did for the people of South Africa was huge.
Yeah.
Chairperson, there was zero cash heist in KZN under that team. Zero. Taxi industry took the line. Criminals, there was a situation that there was a saying that if you want to commit crime, get away out of that province and do it somewhere. There was a saying said, if Katomena wants you, wake up in the morning and go and knock the police station and say, I'm here. So how people, they look at it and all that, we can't debate that, but fighting crime, that's why even today, or even until I leave the organization, there's been a call to say, can they come back? I say they're dead. Some of them are destitute, some of them, well, are surviving. And I hate this thing. I hate this thing of people claiming the police for things that police must pay the man because they've done wrong to them. But I wouldn't mind if I know that South African Police Service must pay more than 100 million for all of them for the thing that for unlawful arrest and the harassment that happened to them when they send the trucks and literally take them like you are evicting a criminal. Taking them and cramping them somewhere, putting all the, and that was under General Connors and Minister Mthethwa. And the Minister Mthethwa went to a prosecutor, asking that prosecutor to arrest them in June, was accompanied by the General Connors to tell you, please make sure that they get arrested. And they got arrested. And today we are facing the unlawful arrest. When I said so, when you talk about Katomena, is one mistake that has happened in the history of police coming forward. And such a huge negative impact in crime fighting. With that team for a very long life, they would be there. I was even prepared to be castigated by my organization because I attended their trials. I was castigated of supporting the rebels and all that. But I knew that those were good human beings doing the work to protect South Africans.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kohler-Barnard. Thank you so much, General Cele. Honorable Skosana, you will be starting when we come back from break at 1:30. You'll be sitting there at 1:30. Thank you so much. No, we're taking a break immediately. We're back at 1:30.